Old Orchard Beach used to be nice. There's wild Canadians coming down. Cutting loose. They think that LL Bean is their Giorgio Armani. Canadian. They're like, oh, honey, put on some Bean tonight. I'm wearing Bean right now.
Check the mic and make sure it sounds right, boys.
Hey, what is up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of the A and B Show. We are sans Brad today. He decided he has to go to New York City, something for a job, I don't know. But that's where he's at right now. But my co-host today, who I gave him no notice, and basically he decided to come on. This is a very busy man, very important man, very intimidating man, but a heart of gold. Intimidating if you're ever there trying to take a kick from him. His name is Stan the Man Peterec. How are you, sir?
Good, Sean. Everything's good.
Oh, it's so. I'm so happy you came on so last minute. I mean,
it's always fun.
So this is now your third time on the podcast, and I love having you on. Every time you come on, you share some wonderful stories. There's always something about. Some real life stuff there. Plus, on top of that, we get to talk some sports as well. It's amazing. So, funny enough, Dan, I was looking around and I saw the 2006 edition of Black Belt magazine there again. And I saw a picture of you on there at number 4. What does that even mean to you today, now, almost 20 years later?
That book, I was looking at that book when I was a little kid. I'd go into a magazine shop back in Port Alberni, a little logging town, and I remember that Black Belt magazine, and I would always go through it. And that was even before I was doing martial arts.
Wow.
And then, so I think it was 14 or 15 years old. And a lot of those guys that I saw in those magazines, I got to meet pretty well everybody. Everybody that I looked up to somehow manifested itself, and got to meet everybody. And I thought, wouldn't that be something one day to be in, if I could get to that magazine? And I made it three times in that magazine. So yeah, it was pretty cool. But I hate to say it, but I think the magazine is now, this year, it's folded.
Wow, that's actually terrible to hear. I mean,
I don't know how many decades it's been around for.
Decades.
Yeah.
Decades. I remember when I was a teenager and I would pick up Black Belt magazine because it was just some cool stuff that you would see in there.
Yeah.
And you often wondered to yourself, it's like, Jean-Claude was big. It's like, Can I learn this? Can I do this? Look at the dedication these guys have. And then now, when you actually start learning things, you're like, this is a lot. It's a lot more than just some pie in the sky stuff. This is like a whole way of life. It's a dedication. And Stan, hats off to you. You not only competed, but you also trained extensively. A lot of training with fighters and also self-defense as well.
Yeah. This will be 50 years this year.
Wow.
Yeah, it'll be my 50th year of training. I'm 65, so it's pretty cool.
You look amazing for 65 as well.
Yeah, you know what? It's a good way of life, Sean. So I'd really push it to anybody that I'm the only guy that never really had to go to work. It's a passion of mine. So, it's how do you call this work when I would have been doing it anyway.
Right.
Yeah. You wouldn't even have to pay me. I just get paid for it now. That's really cool too.
Yeah. So Stan, you've trained other mixed martial artists, wrestlers, kickboxers. You've trained them to elite levels. But now we were just having a discussion beforehand that you've turned now towards more of a self-defense aspect of your training, for people out there people learn self-defense?
Yeah, well, that's what got me into this all. Like I was playing hockey, and then like I got, like I said, I probably said it a million times, but I got bullied, and I wasn't looking for martial art or anything like that. I just and the sports side got to me, and I like competing, and so I got into that. But now I've kind of gone back to my passion has always been self-defense, and I look at it, MMA, boxing, kickboxing. That's good for when you're a young, healthy, athletic type person. But I'm looking at how about the 13-year-old girl and the 70-year-old man? They're the ones who need the self-defense, not the MMA guys. No one, not too many guys are jumping MMA guys out on the street and getting mugged. It's a person that they is vulnerable, weak, or older, or anything like that. How about those people? You're not going to teach your mom MMA now. What's my mom going to do? But that doesn't stop them from learning how to look after them. Like try to avoid the situation, how to talk to people, and then if worse comes to worse, you'd have the physical side of it. But so I find it branches out. I feel better about teaching those people almost than I do a young, scrappy young guy. He doesn't really need it. All he needs is to put his ego intact and avoid things, right? But when you get a smaller female, or like I say, an older man, they probably need the self-defense more, because they're the ones who are more targeted than a jacked MMA fighter.
Right. I mean, the fact that I've been under your tutelage there for 2 years, and I felt in that time period I've not met another instructor anywhere as proficient and with a resume like yours, but also somebody that's had the patience. Like, you just have patience. That is a rare thing, I think, to find.
Yeah, I think when it comes to self-defense and that, the hardest thing is the mindset. So you're people have trauma, and why do most people go? A lot of people say, well, I just took. They come in, and I'm not saying they lie, but they don't want to tell you, guess what? I've had a problem in the past, or some kind of trauma that they were bullied. So most people say, oh, I just came here for fitness.
Right.
Well, if you want fitness, why don't you just join a gym and lift weights, or go run on a treadmill? You'll get fit, right?
Right.
But nobody wants to tell you, you know what? I'm a little bit scared out there. I'm not sure what to do in a situation, and men don't want to say that, right? Women will say it a little faster, but but men, ego-wise, they don't want to say that. So I tell everybody, listen, most of us aren't sure what to do. We think we know what to do, but till it happens to us, a lot of people freeze up, and especially don't know how to talk to the person, what to say, how to deal with a person, somebody violently approaching towards you. You gotta have a plan, and that's what we try to do, is give you some kind of plan and what you could do. How to, especially, like I keep saying, de-escalating is huge.
Yes.
You don't want the legal, you don't want to go through all that legal crap. If all I do is teach people how to punch, well, that's what they're going to do. They're not going to talk. They're just going to punch you, and then guess what? You better get a good lawyer, because you're going to be in trouble. And that's the martial arts doesn't teach you that. The martial arts is, it's more of the physical and the art side of it. But I think they forget that most martial arts instructors got to tell you about the legalities and the aftermath of violence. And there's, nobody talks about the revenge factor. There's about 50% revenge factor that somebody might, just because you win that fight, doesn't mean they won't come back go after somebody in your family or revenge on you or somebody, you know, and you don't want that. So when you finish a course with me, you're trying to avoid everything to do with violence. Once you understand violence, you don't want to do it. It's the guy that doesn't understand violence that is more likely to lash out, you know. And
usually they regret after the fact. Regret.
So, like I said to you earlier, a lot of good people sitting in jail right now. You know, that just made a mistake. That, you know, you got to master your emotions. They always say, you know, what if I just could have took that back? You know, it's too late. But if you can master your emotions and, you know, my bad, walk away, who cares? It's not going to change your life anyway, right? But if you make that wrong move and you make the mistake of hitting somebody, it's going to change their life and yours and your family and that guy's family. And too bad, you know what I mean? So there's, like I say, there's a lot of good people sitting in jail wishing they had thought before they had just lashed out, you know?
Oh, absolutely. You know, I think if people had learned how to fight, because that is as much part of self-defense as anything else, is being able to talk yourself out of something as opposed to go straight on to confrontation.
You know why most of us don't? Because we appear weak.
Right.
You know, we start de-escalating. What's it look like? We're weak. We don't, you know. But instead, we puff up in front of the guy and stick our chest out. You know, do the monkey dance and all that, and that's, you know, people don't understand that to be able to de-escalate, you got to be pretty sure of yourself too, to be able to speak, you know, under that kind of stress. So it takes a lot to speak when you're stressed, like, you know, under a violent situation. It's very hard to keep your calm and not start chirping back and yelling at the guy and pumping up, do that whole thing, right? So in our courses and that, we do a 6-hour course right now, and probably 2.5, 3 hours of it is the how to speak, and the last 3 hours is the physical side. But if you don't get the first part down, you know, you're just doing the physical, and I don't want to be teaching just the physical to people. I want to teach them how to get away from that whole situation if they can. You know, that's a good way to win a fight, is not to fight. You know,
absolutely, and
yeah,
you both win at that point. Then, you know, the person who's being de-escalated and yourself, you both win at that point.
The guy in front of you doesn't understand. You just saved his ass as much as you saved yours.
Right.
He thinks he's won, though. He walks away thinking he won, but he really doesn't realize that you just saved his butt and yours. Right. And that's pretty good. If you can walk away and doing that, that's pretty good. You know,
absolutely,
that's a pretty good day.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now I understand that you guys moved as well from your old place in Fisgard.
Yeah, 2 blocks over on Johnson Street, and I was telling you that it's almost more than double in the size, about 8,000 square feet. Got a sauna in there, some showers, and full-length ring, and full floors padded. We've got everything, you know, the MMA, jiu-jitsu, boxing, kickboxing.
Getting the sauna in there.
Yeah, well, fighters always got to lose weight, eh?
Yeah, of course.
Stick them in there. Yeah, but yeah, you got a nice infrared sauna in there, so.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm sure there's some people that are cursing. Some people that are cursing in that sauna.
Yeah, no, most of them are. Yeah, yeah. They should have done a little more road work. They wouldn't be cursing. Yeah.
Oh man. Well, Stan, we'll talk more about this there. I wanted to get your well, first off, we're both Canadians, and here we are marching down towards the CFL Grey Cup altogether. So,
yeah.
What is your thoughts on this year's Eastern and Western Conference Finals?
Wow. Well, being from British Columbia, obviously I want the BC Lions to win, but this tomorrow, I believe they're playing Winnipeg in Winnipeg. I don't know if they could get past them. Honestly, it's funny watching BC Lions. Every game, one game they'll look amazing, the next game terrible.
I mean, the record overall, though, 12-6, that's actually really good.
Yeah, most of their wins were at the beginning too. They were on quite a roll, but then I don't know what happened. Their defense was amazing, and then lately they don't look that good. So yeah. I don't know what's going on there. And their quarterback got hurt too. So he's not 100% right now. Mind you, last game against Calgary, he ran for 3 touchdowns himself, and I think he threw for 2 touchdowns even. So he had a great game, but game before that, terrible.
Yeah. Well, I guess the playoff game probably matters more, so yeah. I guess you'll take that.
Yeah, well, at least we made it,
Yeah. And I see the Argos. I mean, I always was looking at the Argos. They won last year. They look like a juggernaut this year.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, Montreal, the Alouettes have them, and it's any given. Well, in this case, Saturday.
Yeah.
It's I think that Toronto probably could take it all again, but you never know. You never know with BC. Can BC knock off a juggernaut like Winnipeg?
Yeah. Oh, football. It's one game, right?
That's it.
It's not like hockey or baseball where you get to play a bunch of games. It's one game, and that's it. Everything's on the line.
Oh, absolutely. Now, in the NFL, I'm bragging about this, Stan. Last week, I got all the picks correct except for the Monday night game. The Jets threw me off. I really thought the Jets would win it at home.
Yeah.
And they got shellacked.
That's funny you say that because my buddy got all the games wrong. Yeah. And I couldn't believe it. I said, really? You got everything wrong? He goes, yeah, everything. I almost opposed. But, yeah, football, I always thought football was easy to pick, easier. And sometimes, you got to know who's playing.
You got to know who's playing, who's off. Yeah. But I mean, when I looked at the Ravens and the Seahawks, so I figured that the Ravens are going to win. But I did not think they were going to win by that much.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you. I was going to ask you that. I didn't think it was going to be a blowout like that.
No, I thought that Seattle will keep it a little bit closer. And what scares me right now is that Lamar Jackson, who literally was his own agent and did all of his own stuff to get himself signed, doesn't even show up to OTAs after he gets signed, comes out and he's performing at an MVP level. That defense is remarkable. They're a scary team going in further down the line here in the AFC.
Who do you got who's your favorite, what do you figure, Super Bowl?
Oh my goodness. So right now, unless a miracle happens, I'm a Bills fan. I just don't see the Bills pulling that out. I just don't. Joe Burrow. Go ahead.
I thought I was hoping this was the year they were going to go. Mm-hmm. And they look better, obviously last year.
Yeah.
And now this year they're not playing up to par like they did.
Well, they look very one-dimensional, and their defense, there's a lot of injuries on their defense right now.
Yeah.
The fact that it's like everybody knows you're going to Stephon Diggs, and you have no real run game except for Josh Allen, and from here time to time your running back does produce something, but it's not like a consistency. It makes it tough to win because it's just like people are figuring you out. And if you think about it, over the past month, I think they were 2-2, and really just close, grind out games. And it's not a recipe for victory. No.
Who did Dallas get spanked by last week?
Dallas ended up losing, but it wasn't a spanking.
No,
a
they
much
didn't get
closer
spanked,
game, but they lost
yeah.
to the Eagles. They lost to the
Yeah,
Eagles.
that's right, Eagles. Yeah,
Yeah.
Sorry, I had a brain fog. I was watching the game, and then I'm thinking, well, who they got them? But that one was I figured Dallas could pull that off, and
They could.
Philly,
They could have.
yeah, Philly pulled it off, and yeah, it was good. I was going for Philly anyway.
You think about it. Dallas had more yards, more passing yards, more rushing yards, less turnovers, and they lost the game. It's
Yeah. Yeah. Funny how that happens.
you know, and that's just that's the way the cookie crumbles. With the Bengals and the Bills, I wasn't surprised about that score. Joe Burrow looks like he's a man possessed right now. That AFC North is just scary altogether. I mean, they said that I heard somebody saying that there's a 7% chance that all 4 of the AFC North teams can make it to the playoffs. 7% chance. And eventually, you know, you have to play each other twice, right? So the second visits are happening. That's where the beating up starts happening, and then the separation.
So who do you, like I said before, who do you figure is going to win it all?
I love you're asking me this. I gotta say, I mean, on the NFC side, wow. I mean, I think it's Philadelphia's to lose to make it there. And on the AFC, I think the road right now, it's not through Kansas City. I think it is through Baltimore. Like Baltimore looks scary. People want to talk about that Miami offense, but that Miami offense only feasts on sub 500 teams. So what are you gonna do? You gotta have defense. You gotta have offense. Oh, absolutely. Well, having said this, we're going to get into this week's games coming up here and the lines on them. So, as we know, Chicago ended up beating Carolina yesterday.
Yeah.
And that was a nice one for Chicago. You know, but it was quite frankly a who cares game. It's like both those teams are out of the playoffs. So,
yeah.
So we have the Colts and the Patriots. The Colts are on the road, and they are favored by 2.5. So this is scary when you think about it. When Vegas is taking away the odds from the home team, it's usually an automatic 3 for the home team, and they're giving it to the Colts with a backup quarterback. New England, I don't think has any real injuries. It's just how bad New England is.
Yeah, so, it's hard to believe. It's hard to believe what's happened to them, eh?
Oh, it's terrible. It's absolutely terrible. I don't think that dumpster fire can be fixed.
Do you think Belichick will be around much longer?
I don't think so. I think he's on his way out. I hate to say it, but...
Yeah, well, you know what? It's probably for him it'd be a nice change too. You know that?
He'd land on his feet somewhere.
Yeah, if he wants to keep, if this is what he wants to keep doing. But when you win that many, right, and then to have a team like this now, how hard is that?
Oh,
it's hard on you. Yeah.
I know that we mentioned it on the show. I think the problem happened when he decided to become the general manager as well as coach. I think you should stick with one, Bill. Sure. Are you picking the Colts to win against the Patriots?
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. I think they're going to win that one. I think they're going to. I think even the Colts are going to go above the 2.5. Here's the big surprise here, okay? The Houston Texans against the Cincinnati Bengals. Another one of the other games. Cincinnati is at home. They're favored by 6.5. Houston is a team you can't sleep on this week.
No, but I don't know. I'd probably go with Cincinnati.
Yeah, I would too. I'm not saying, even though I'm not saying that they're going to win. But I think they're going to make it exciting. Like that kid, 470 yards last week and 5 touchdowns. C.J. Stroud.
Yeah. It could be like you said, you can't sleep on it. It's not going to be easy, but if that's what the odds are, I'd probably go with that.
Yeah, I think a touchdown is probably Bengals. Yeah, absolutely. Especially with Jamar Chase, Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
It's a scary thing. Then we have a big, I don't know, New Orleans against Minnesota. New Orleans is going into Minnesota. They are the favorites by 3. I actually think that Minnesota could win this game.
Yeah.
I'm actually going against the line on this one. That kid Josh Dobbs came out and pulled something out that I don't think anybody would have ever thought. Not learning the playbook, not anything like that. Rushed out there and just had to go, and he won a game.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
give me that one. Yeah.
Good on him.
Yeah, absolutely. Green Bay versus Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh at home, 3.5 favorites.
Yeah.
I think that's easy.
Yeah.
Again, the AFC North, that defense is absolutely stellar. Every single team has a defensive juggernaut on their team, and it's unbelievable. With Pittsburgh, TJ Watt and Cameron Hayward, it's crazy. Their offense doesn't even have to do anything.
No.
It's
No.
All right, we have the Titans against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Tampa Bay is favored by a point. I don't even know what to think of this game here, Stan, honestly.
No, I was just thinking about that one. Yeah.
They have a young quarterback now in Tennessee with Will Levis. Baker Mayfield is doing Baker Mayfield things, but
What's Tampa's record right now?
They are both 3-5, both teams. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's probably why I'm not thinking about them too much. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. Hey.
I'm going for Tennessee on this one. I think the kid Will Levis gets a second win. I think he does that in Tennessee for the Titans. All right. This is my game. This is my game here, Stan. San Fran against Jacksonville in Jacksonville. Guess who the favorite is going in this?
San Fran?
It is by 3 points. And here's the thing. Jacksonville has a better record.
Well, San Fran surprised me a few times this year.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yep. Against that game against Dallas?
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. I don't know. They can pull it. They can do it.
I think they could do it too. I think the 3 points is probably accurate too on the way it's going to go down. It's going to be a field goal. It's going to be close. Cleveland and Baltimore in Baltimore. Wow.
Oh, that's a good game. Baltimore, I think.
Yeah. So Baltimore is given almost a touchdown, 6.5.
Yeah.
I have to go with Baltimore as well, and I think the 6.5 is probably about right because both those defenses are going to go at each other. And unless Deshaun Watson has an amazing game, I don't know. I have no idea on that one.
I think Baltimore on that.
Me too. Yeah, give me lots of Lamar Jackson on that one.
Yeah.
We got Atlanta against Arizona. In Arizona, it's Kyler Murray's return as their quarterback. Atlanta's favored by 2.
I'll go for Arizona.
Hey, you know what? I'll go along with you, Stan. Why not? Because
they played pretty good the other night. I saw it. I can't remember what game it was, but yeah, I thought they were doing good. You know, I forget who they. It wasn't last week, the week before, I think.
Well, don't forget, Arizona stunned Dallas.
No, okay. There you go. Stuff like that, you know. Mind you, Dallas either crash and burns, or they are just amazing, right? Same
One or
thing.
the other. Yeah.
Yeah, they go. They're scoring touchdowns like crazy, or they can't do nothing, right?
I can't put my finger on them.
Yeah, you can't. There's no middle ground with those guys, you know.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's either they're completely abysmal or they're rock stars.
Yeah.
All right. We got the Detroit Lions going in to SoFi Stadium against the Los Angeles Chargers. Detroit are favorites at 3 points. 3-point favorites.
Wow. Yeah.
That's tough.
Yeah, it's tough. Yeah, that was a hard one. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, maybe go with Detroit then.
Yeah, I want to go with Detroit as well. They lost their last game, went into the bye.
Yeah.
They're so well coached, and honestly, the Chargers, they just reached 500. I don't think this is the game that they take it to the next level. Not against Detroit. It's like, yeah, I think that's a loss. Yeah. This is the biggest blowout so far for points here. It's Dallas Cowboys in Dallas against the New York Giants. They are given 17 points.
Did the Giants just lose their quarterback?
They lost their quarterback for the year.
Yeah.
Tyrod Taylor is now the guy.
Yeah. Yeah, I got Dallas. I think Dallas will smoke them, especially at home.
Especially when you look at that week 1 debacle for New York in week 1. I think it was like 41-0 for Dallas.
Yeah.
It's like, oh. Yeah, it's going to be ugly. This is a game for Seattle. This is the game for Seattle to bounce back. They got the Commanders. They're up by 6. They're given a 6-point favorite. Yeah, in Seattle too.
Oh yeah, they should pull that off.
I think so. They're too good of a team.
You know, back to the game before it, the Giants. Do you know who the backup quarterback is?
Tyrod.
Do you know anything about it? Okay. I didn't know who was playing in that one.
Yeah, Tyrod Taylor, and I mean, he's capable, but you know, Dallas has a lot of weapons.
Yeah. No, Dallas will pull it off. Yeah.
And that defense, I mean, when you look on that defense side, we have Micah Parsons and even aging Stephon Gilmore on that defensive side there. It's a scary enough defense. They can pass rush you. They can get the ball off. It's
well, they gave Philly everything.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Philly's a good team, and they were in hard. You know?
That was a smash mouth game. Yeah, so I think it's an easier time for them against the Giants for sure. Yeah, and I think Seattle's too good of a team. When you look at DK Metcalf, Lockett, Walker, Geno Smith is the manager, and then on the defensive side of the ball, you have some real players, Jamal Adams. I mean, you have some real players in Seattle. Seattle, their record is 5-3. They're the same as San Fran. I think they right the ship after this one. Like, honestly, I think this is we're gonna make it up after getting punched in the mouth by Baltimore.
They put it this way: this is a win game for them. If they don't win this, then people are gonna be, talking. They got to win this.
They have to. Yeah. Especially at home.
Yeah.
Then we got the Jets and the Raiders. The Raiders are given 1 point because they're at home. It is a pick'em game. I think the Raiders, the way they looked last week, I think they go after the Jets with everything they got. I think it's another 30-9 game. That's what I personally see there. I'm also looking at. Oh
sorry.
Yeah. No, that's fine.
You cut out there, Sean.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
That's fine. So I was saying that the Jets and the Raiders. I think that the Raiders have this game with their new head coach. I think that they're gonna jump all over New York. It's gonna be ugly, but this is. Yeah. We have to wait until Aaron Rodgers is back, really. So.
Yeah, I think the Jets, whatever chance they had right off the bat went out the door this year. It's too bad. I was hoping the new Joe Namath was coming along.
Well, when you think about it, that team was loaded, right? So can you imagine if Aaron Rodgers was playing every game? Like, I think they would have through the AFC East.
I don't know how far they would have went, but at least they would have done a lot better with that guy at the helm,
Yeah, no, absolutely. I feel bad. I feel bad for them. I feel bad for Zach Wilson because he's shoved into that situation.
Well, how about the fans, eh?
Oh, that too.
You can't wait for the year to start, and your top guy is gone.
Gone. It's
all that for all that money too.
Oh yeah. But luckily, this next season.
Yeah.
Here's a get-right game for the Bills. Monday night game. The Buffalo Bills against the Denver Broncos. They're given a full 7 points. Unless you see Russell Wilson from the Seattle Seahawks of 2013, I don't think they win this game at all. I think it's Buffalo's. Buffalo's going to get some revenge.
Well, I'm a Seahawks fan, so I'm going to be all over Buffalo. Sorry, Wilson. I can't stand you anymore. No.
No, I agree. Buffalo, they need to win this game to even stay relevant. And then I just think that they're upset. I mean, they got to be upset. It's terrible. Terrible in Buffalo. Oh, my goodness. I want to talk some NHL issues. You are a Canucklehead through and through, yeah?
Yeah.
What do you think this year of your Canucks? I mean, where was this last year?
I've been watching them for, 50-something years now. And they always let us down. And then I didn't jump on the bandwagon on those first games. I just said, they're going to crash and burn. Too small. They're just too small players and everything. And you know what? They're starting to make believers out of me. They bought into a system. They bought into that Rick Tocchet system.
Yeah.
And you gotta like that lunch bucket work ethic they got. They work so hard, like you see them, they'll go into corners and they smaller guys and everything, they come out with the puck every time. They're I like that. They're not full of superstars. You could say Hughes and Pedersen are stars, but they're not McDavid and Drysdale type,
Right.
I don't, but they have a team where all, I like saying that they play all the lines and they all contribute, right? Where you get someone like Edmonton, if McDavid ain't showing up, the rest of the team doesn't show up.
It's very true.
It doesn't make any sense with McDavid. If he doesn't show up, where's Drysdale and the rest of them?
Yeah, Draisaitl goes silent. They're all.
Yeah.
It's like I don't understand it. One player doesn't make the team, right?
No. My buddies are. Sorry, we're jumping from Canucks to Edmonton, but my buddies are all Edmonton Oilers fans.
Right.
And I said, what they should have done before the San Jose game, not even play Drysdale or McDavid,
right,
and let the rest of the team figure out who they are and let them play. Mind you, like the Oilers' third, fourth line, they're getting 3 minutes to play. They're not playing. How do you contribute to a team? You don't even get to play, right? I would have sat those. I know they couldn't do it, but you should have sat your two superstars out and said, okay, let's see who really wants to play hockey. Like, who wants to make the team here? And they should have still beat San Jose just without those two.
You would think. I mean, San Jose is not a good team this year.
No. They're like that's an understatement of, you lose 10-1 and you lost 10-2 and, that's like crazy, right? And to watch Edmonton lose to them last night, that's amazing.
It's ugly. It's downright ugly.
Yeah.
Here's something right. I want to throw this at you. So this is something that was missing from Vancouver last year. Okay.
Yeah.
You have three out of the top 6 in scoring right now on your team. And if you want to go down even further, you have 4 of the top 20 in scoring this year on your team. Elias Pettersson's having a great year. Quinn Hughes. But then look at this. Hard hat guys, like you said. JT Miller.
Yeah.
Brock Besser. Way down here in number 16. Brock Besser with 11 goals. 5 assists.
Yeah.
And then we have looked at goaltending. Thatcher Demko.
Oh, he should win it all this year. We've always known him to be top goalie anyway. He just got hurt last year, but the Oilers, they must be so sick of him because they outshoot the Canucks all the time, and they just can't get anything past them. If you watch that first period of the last game that Edmonton played Vancouver, where Vancouver won 6-2 or whatever it was 19 shots to 2. No, 19 shots to 3 shots in the first period.
Wow.
You know, almost 20 shots in one period, and Danko stands on his head. And you know, so to all these Oiler fans, your team is still good offensively. They're amazing. They're going to find a way to get a goal, but they don't know how to stop anything. They don't know, you know, the back end is still the problem. They got to find a goal. There's never been never a problem with the offense for Edmonton.
I mean, you signed Jack Campbell 5 for 5, right? 5 years, $5 million, and now he's already cleared waivers and struggling in the AHL already in his first game. So that's gotta stink.
What's the other guy? Connor. What's that? David Connor. What's the guy who's playing with McDavid now? They brought up from. He used to play with him in the. You know, the juniors.
Oh, I know you're talking about. Yeah. Connor Brown. Yes.
Connor Brown. Okay, so if you took Connor Brown's what he's making, Jack Campbell and Nurse, that's over $18 million that I look at. That is a waste. I hate to say it. Nurse at best is a $5 million player, not $9 million.
Right.
He's making $9 million. No.
Right.
$5 million. I can see it, but. Jack Campbell, sorry, you know, I like Jack Campbell player. Too.
Yeah,
you know that I like Jack Campbell as a, you know, like when he speaks and everything. It's really nice. It's just sad to watch that he can't play. He's having terrible. He's just, I don't know what's going on, but he's not. You know, they give him a chance and he can't do it, right?
Yeah.
And then you got this other guy that played with McDavid. He's definitely not. He's not doing anything.
Yeah,
that's $18 million wasted. A waste of money. Yeah.
I still think Edmonton makes the playoff, but it's going to be an uphill battle for them. They're not winning the division or anything like that.
Watch tomorrow when they play Seattle.
Yeah.
They play Kraken.
Yeah.
And Kraken's a big team. Kraken, you know what? The Kraken's a big team, and they don't mind banging a little bit. And that if they don't turn around tomorrow and Seattle beats them. There's going to be some heads are going to roll for sure.
Yeah, you're not supposed to start like that.
No, I don't. I just got a feeling tomorrow will be the last. Something's going to happen.
Yeah, and it's the same thing for the Leafs. I mean, the Leafs, you got all the firepower in the world, but you have no defense and no goaltending.
Yeah,
you're wondering why right now you're on the outside looking in.
I don't understand what's going on there. You know, you got so many guys that can score goals, like you say, and you know, Giordano. Okay, he's 40 years old. I got a feeling they put too much on him. Anyway, I find he's a good defenseman even for his age. Yeah. But who's the guy that they all want his head now? Is Clareberg or whatever his name is?
What is his full name? I think it's Silverberg or whatever, Silverberg.
Yeah. Everybody's on his case now, right? They always got to find a scapegoat. It's got to be a defenseman, you know. And they're all on his case now. So
because the thing is, that's the way it is. You're a good defenseman. Well, how come you're not playing defense for us? Well,
yeah. Well, something's going on. And then goal, Samsonov's not playing very good goal. Backup guys was good. Yesterday he had a bad game. Joseph Woolley.
Joseph Wall, yeah.
Wall. Yeah, I liked him. But yesterday he didn't look himself. There was goals.
I'm sorry, I said Silverberg. I meant John Klingberg is who I meant. But yeah, they're on Klingberg's case because, you know, let's face it, when you have a look at this defense, you still have a guy right now, what is it, Jake Muzzin, who I don't think has played really for Toronto. He's just still sitting there.
Is he hurt?
Well, he just gets hurt a lot, so...
Oh, okay.
You know...
Because he does get hurt all the time, I know that.
Yeah, so he's played 4 games so far this season, so not being utilized a whole ton. And then, of course, Morgan Wiley's getting older. But then, after Mark Giordano and Klingberg and Morgan Wiley, you're kind of left with, like, Liljegren got injured with that slew foot. And we had a slew foot from Brad Marchand.
Yeah. Oh, that definitely. But where was Reeves?
That was disgusting. Absolutely.
Hey, where was Reeves? Nobody did nothing.
They did nothing. And this is after you have Ryan Reeves. Where's Ryan Reeves?
Yeah. Or Bertuzzi or somebody.
Somebody there just getting in somebody's face.
Yeah.
I don't even get it. Like, here they were, they've added all these guys, and none of these guys are supposed to be gritty and sandpapery, and they're not playing that. It's like,
what Reeves saying? He says, "Well, next time." He said something about that's not going to happen again.
oh, thanks. Thanks,
Yeah.
Ryan.
When you get, no, it should have never happened. Yeah. That's not Marchand's first time either.
Oh,
But,
he's he just gets under your skin the way he plays. It's terrible.
Speaking of defense, you know who surprised me this year that I wanted out of Vancouver for the last 2-3 years is Myers. I can't stand Myers,
Right.
and he's actually playing good right now.
Maybe it's
Exactly.
because your pocket just
Yeah, I don't know
like
what it is,
Canucks
but
whisperer.
yeah, Nestor didn't. He wanted out. I was all for that. Oh, good. Like, well, let's get a player for it. And now he's playing good. Like,
Right.
now, Garland wants out. He still wants out. And it's too bad because I actually like Garland because he's a hard worker. But I don't know if we're going to get what, there's no one's biting at him.
Right.
Like nobody's. I hope they get somebody good for him because he actually is a good player.
Right.
A hard worker.
Yeah. Well, even, who knows when you're going down the trade deadline and we're getting close to that time period, what you might be able to get.
Yeah.
Vancouver, though, right now where they are, and being right on the heels of Stanley Cup champions, the Vegas Golden Knights, they got to be happy with what they're doing.
Yeah, but as well as I do, playoff time, too small. Finesse will only get you so far, right? And then you just get shattered. Like Vegas, to me, you got Vegas, Los Angeles, even Dallas, bigger teams. They tend to, even the Panthers again, they'll beat you up at the end. I don't know if I've seen a rougher Stanley Cup than I watched in the last Vegas and Panthers. You know that?
Yeah.
Like the hitting they were doing. Guys were getting level. Yeah, they weren't fighting like they used to fight in the old days. What they do now, they're faster and stronger. When they hit each other, bodies are everywhere.
Well,
and Florida, half their team still. Like that's what I remember when the end of that Stanley Cup, the coach said, "Oh, we won't be seeing these guys for at least 3 or 4 months into the season. The way they've been banged up, that was one of the nastiest." At 7 games, like that's crazy. The hockey playoffs, there's nothing harder than that. There's no way. I don't care if you call it football, whatever you want. You got to play that 7 games every series is. How many times can you get through that? There's nothing left in you.
That's it. It's
That's gotta be the hardest. It's gotta be the hardest sport in the world.
Oh yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I have so much respect for NFL athletes. I have respect for them. But when it comes down to championships and like the grinding and everything, there's nothing like NHL as far as playoffs. I know I'm Canadian, you're Canadian, maybe we're biased, but the thing is that when you have a look at that, it's true. You're grinding against each other, and then just like after that battle of attrition, you have to go back and do it again.
And if you don't like the guy, you just drop the gloves and beat him up, and then you'll see him tomorrow and you beat each other up again and again. And none of that when you're doing what are they doing? 30-something miles an hour, and they plant you against the boards.
Oh,
And
there's no real give.
So the impact, they were saying the impact is harder than the NFL.
Oh yeah.
Because there's no give. The boards don't give. You know. And yeah, those guys are bigger, but the actual speed on skates to hit somebody against the boards, the impact is worse.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So,
and like you hear those horror stories after the NHL playoffs of like some of the crazy injuries these guys are playing with.
Yeah, broken everything, you know, broken arms, legs. You know, Bobby Bond. I mean, you know, he goes out and scores a goal after that.
On a broken leg.
Yeah. And then you get a soccer player who takes a dive, and they got the stretcher out there, and you got Bobby Bond skating around with a broken leg. You know what I mean? I think hockey players are the toughest people on the planet, man. I do.
Oh yeah.
I don't know anything uglier than giving guys sticks to chase each other around with it. All their teeth are missing, and you know they just keep going. Like the other day, the guy what was it? The guy, what game was it the other day? The guy took a pucker in the mouth. He's bleeding everywhere. He's out. He missed one shift. He's back. You know, and he's out there, and everybody's looking at him, and he's like just a mess. But he doesn't care. Like you never see that, man. That is tough. Those guys, you know. You got to give them credit. They're tough.
Absolutely. Man, oh man. Oh, I'm so happy I got to talk some Canucks hockey with you there, Stan. I did want to pick your brain about one more thing.
Yep.
Ngannou Fury. What did you think of that fight?
He got robbed.
Ngannou?
Yeah, he got robbed.
Because he had a knockdown in the third.
Not a knockdown, but if they took the points away, they should have took the points away from Fury for throwing that elbow.
Right.
Intentional elbow. You can see it. They show it in slow motion. He hits him with an elbow right at the side of the head. That, if they took the point off of that, he definitely lost. He would have lost anyway. To me, he had lost without that. But if they should have took the point off for the elbow, and no, I thought it was a shame. But that's boxing.
Yeah.
Boxing's been so crooked for so long. There's just too much money involved.
Right.
There's so much money involved that, you know, I remember I was a big George Foreman fan when he came back. Especially, I wasn't a George Foreman fan when the first time I'd seen him when he fought Ali. I was all Ali.
Right.
But when George came back, I thought, good on George. Like, he seemed like a totally different human being. He wasn't that mean. He looked like some big happy bear of a man, and you know, he found God, and everything was cool, and I was really rooting for him, and I wanted to see Big George, you know, make comeback and everything, and he went to Germany, fought in Germany against a young German kid, and he got beat up so bad, both eyes were shut. He had sunglasses on at the end of the interview, and then he got annihilated. He stood up, took a beating, and they gave it to him. And the German kid couldn't believe it. He was crying. And I went, I can't. As you know, George, I was going for George, and I thought, my God, if you'd bet money on that, and you bet on the German kid, and you lost all your money, I mean, how sick. You know you won.
Yeah.
And you still lost all your money. And you, like, boxing is something fights in general, you should bet on fights. You can bet on baseball and hockey and that, but boxing is the last thing you ever want to bet on. I tell you that. I would never want to bet on boxing. If it's a friendly bet. Yeah, it's rigged. Yeah, it's run by the mob. I swear. That last fight, come on. He got dropped. Not only did he get dropped, he did nothing. What did he do? The other guy hit him more, and he didn't. I didn't see anything. I didn't see any. I'd be watching the sport all my life, but I went, you know what? The boxer lost. That's it.
Yeah.
There's not much to say about that. You know?
Can you imagine that? You're giving an MMA fighter like the victory. Like I think people would have been up in arms. Yeah.
That was his first boxing fight, and you're fighting the world champion.
And you beat the heavyweight champion.
Can you imagine somebody saying, I'm going to fight Muhammad Ali? Have you ever fought? No. No, I've never fought, but I'm going to fight Muhammad. I'm going to beat him, too. I'm going to drop him. How about that? I'm gonna knock Ali down. And then you did it. You know, and then they ripped you off anyway. Yeah, doesn't matter what you do. You're not gonna win. Oh. No, that's sad.
Oh my gosh.
They should have given it to him. You know that?
Yeah.
It would have been Cinderella. Hey, it would have been the Rocky movie.
I was
Right?
just thinking that too. Is that this is the storyline to Rocky?
Yeah,
one.
it's a real life. It's a real life Rocky. The guy comes from from nothing. He's eating rats in the streets of France,
Right.
and all of a sudden he's making 10 million. He's beating the world champion. Like, you know what kind of belief system you have to have in yourself to do something like that. You come from some small village, and you got nothing, and you're beating the world champion. That's an amazing story.
And people were such hard critics of him too when he decided to not fight.
And John Jones.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why would he?
Like that was the bad thing there. Wow. Just give me a second
look at
here,
the money.
Stan. I had no idea. My phone's quite loud. Yeah. So you're fighting that, and then it's.
Yeah.
You know what? We're giving him such a hard time over that.
No, that he made 10 times the money he would have made anyway.
That's it.
Right?
That's it. You know.
Yeah. You know what he did? I think he did reach out to John Jones and said, we'll have an MMA fight now. Right?
Well, why not? I mean, you just proved yourself that you can box with one of the best. So why not? But I still think that that John Jones and Stipe Miocic has to happen. I think that's the natural evolution.
Yeah, I think that. But if you were really looking to make the money, John Jones and Naganda there, that would be that would be the biggest fight in MMA history.
Yeah, that's money.
Because now,
the
man made such a big name for himself. Yeah. Now's the time to make that happen.
But man, oh man, I would feel so bad for Stipe. Stipe is such a class act. I mean, he totally deserves a rematch.
He does. Yeah.
But you're absolutely right. It's what makes sense if you're Dana White.
It's about the money, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll see what happens.
Oh, absolutely.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah, and I was really sad to see that John Jones is injured before the fight against Stipe there, and then we're now being treated to a different fight. But it will happen. There's going to be a heavyweight tilt here. I really do believe that.
Yeah, that's the sad part about fighting is it's not a team sport where you can keep going. What guy's wrecked, he's wrecked. There's nothing you can do.
Yeah. Well, we're coming to the end of our time here, Stan, and usually on this episode, or these shows, what we like to do a thing, Brad and I, we call it one-on-one, where we ask each other a question and then see what your reaction is from it. It's a very off-the-cuff question. So I'm not expecting you to ask me a question because I gave you no premise on this. That's absolutely not a problem. But I have a question for you. And I have not told you this beforehand, so this is going to be a natural reaction. Okay. So if you could pick to be a professional wrestler of any era, who would you be?
Oh. Meaning, are we talking collegiate wrestling or
no. If we're talking collegiate wrestling, I'm sure there's a whole bunch. No, professional wrestler.
Oh, professional wrestling. Oh. Who was cool? The Ultimate Warrior was cool.
He was cool. He couldn't do a promo to save his life, but he was cool.
No, he was pretty cool. He looked like some kind of action figure. I thought he was pretty. They didn't have to say too much.
No, he didn't. He could mumble whatever garbage. People just were gonna come and see him anyways.
I got a question for you.
Okay, all right.
Where are we? I know you're still in the military, right?
Yes.
Okay. Where are we sitting? If the clock is ticking, where are we right now? 12 o'clock. Where are we
the-
sitting at World War III? I hate to pick up. I don't want to bring up a bad subject, but people
Wow.
could pick up a worse subject. I know, but you being in the military, you probably, you got to hear it every time. Where do you think we're sitting?
I mean, I can't say anything professionally, but I would definitely say though that I think that we're not, like the unrest that it is at right now. I think we are one invasion away.
Really?
Yeah, I truly
It's
do. And that's
it's a
just
sad
that's
time.
not me being professional or anything. I think that as the world, I don't think it can handle something.
No. And it's sad because up here, a lot of people are going, well, it's over there.
Right.
And I go, you don't understand. The world's a lot smaller now than it was.
Oh.
It's not World War II anymore. This is when things kick off. It's going to be, it's in your backyard before you know it.
Oh yeah. And especially
I think people are a little ignorant right now not to be waking up and taking this serious, but we always think, see, especially Canada, not the States so much, but Canada, we've never had it on our land, so we think, oh no, the Americans are going to look after us.
Right.
Guess what? The Americans can only do so much too, and I hate to say it, but our neighbors are kind of strapped here and there from trying to look after Taiwan, Ukraine, and now you're going to work look after you know what I mean? It's how are you going to share for everything in the country, in the world, when you've got too many bad guys, and you can't.
Not just that. I mean, you're also looking at like the Northern Passageway. I mean, just as an observer, right?
Yeah.
It's probably going to become one of the biggest passageways for trade, but you have no way to really govern it. You know what I mean? Like as far as lawlessness could be all over that place there. Because you have no real police force, nothing like that. So it's a lot of interesting things, and we're in an area where there's so much to guard and just not enough to do it, I think. So but you're absolutely right. With today, with technology, social media, things like that, people radicalizing. The fight could be at your doorstep at any moment. So
it's one of my, at my age, but I always look at my kids and everybody, and I worry for the rest. Like I always think, I just hope their sensible heads get together and try to work this thing out. That's all I can do.
That's basically, I think that's probably a wise word said there, Stan. Well, you don't ask the easy stuff there. You don't
it's one of the things on my mind all the time, though, and I thought, you know what, you've got a background, and I'd like to hear your side.
Oh yeah. Well, I just think it's just an outsider looking at things. We're really one invasion away.
I was going to tell you, if I know you said you're maybe popping up this way around Christmas, but on December 10th we've got another workshop. We're doing a seminar for a 6-hour seminar. I was going to say, if you had it in you, if you're up this way, I would invite you for the seminar. It'll be very good.
I'm gonna have to look at my schedule there, but I would love to.
Yeah,
and
I've got
maybe there's
rules
gonna be a
to
time where I do have time off, and I'll be able to come up for sure to do those, because
you know what, you'll get lots out of it. I promise you that. It's a very good in-depth look at things.
Oh yeah. Well, you don't have to convince me. You don't have to convince me. I know this.
Yeah. So if you're up in the area on December 10th, you're more than welcome to come and do this. I'd like to hear your feedback anyway.
Oh, I would love to, and I would love to do that, and let's try to do that for sure. And also, Stan, where can people come to learn?
Oh, 854 Johnson Street.
Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.
Beautiful. If you are looking for somebody to bring you along here and a great world instructor, Stan's your man.
Yeah, we do a little bit of everything. They've got everything there: wrestling, kickboxing, jiu-jitsu, boxing, Krav Maga, Muay Thai. We've got, I don't know if you know who Ron Tang is. Ron Tang from One Championships.
Yes.
The world. Yeah, he'll be at our gym for 3 nights, starting on 24th, 25th, 26th of November. I've got him coming. So if you want to get your ass kicked, come up there and he'll kick your ass for you.
Well, that sounds awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. Scary dude.
Oh, I believe it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Stan, thank you so much for carving out some time in your day there.
It sound right, boy.
Anytime, Sean, it's always nice to talk to you. I don't find this. I just find this me talking to a friend. That's all.
That's exactly it.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me on.
Thank you, Stan, and we're looking forward to seeing you the next time.
Yeah. Take care, my friend.
Thank you. Till next time, be good or be good at it. Right.